Thanks for coming today. My name is Nancy Swanner. Welcome to the 3-Minute Thesis. I am a faculty member in the School of Hospitality Business Management in the Carson College of Business. This is my 24th year on the faculty and my first year being able to be involved with this event, and so I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I'm also super grateful to my friend Bill up there and folks running the camera, because at 65, this look-up angle is way better for everything I got going on here. So I'd like to remind you all, please, to turn your phones off, not just kind of off, so that nobody's goes off unexpectedly, as always seems to happen in these kinds of events. It's hard to believe, but this is the 11th year since the College of Education Dean Mike Trevison brought 3-Minute Thesis to WSU. That happened the year before we began doing this institution-wide at WSU, and so that means we are today celebrating the 10th anniversary of 3-Minute Thesis. That's kind of a big deal, don't y'all think? Yeah. It started at Queensland University, and there's a lot more information that you can find about this program and its reach at 3mt.wsu.edu, and I'm thinking we might have that link up here somewhere before you get out here, should you like to pursue some additional information. First of all, we'd like to thank our host today, the College of Veterinary Medicine, for having us in this beautiful building. This is the first time I've walked in here. I don't know how many for you this is a first, but wow, this is spectacular. It's the first time this event has been hosted in the Veterinary and Biomedical Research Building, and I'm hopeful and suspect that it actually won't be the last. We'd also like to recognize our faculty representative, Dr. Amy Roth-McDuffie. Where did Amy? She slid in a little bit. Thank you. Amy is a math educator and a former Associate Dean of Research and External Funding in the College of Education, and her role is to interface with others about this event and to ensure that we stay true to the purpose of the event, which is to effectively communicate high-quality research. We'd also like to thank the Office of the Provost for today's award money. The winner of today's competition will be the recipient of a $3,000 travel grant for a research conference or conferences of their choice. The runner-up will receive $1,500 in travel grant money, and third place will receive a travel grant of $500. So thank you to the Provost's office for supplying that. And of course, we'd like to thank all our competitors. Congratulations for being here. It's kind of a big deal, right? You had to be the best of the best in where you were in order to make it this far. So congratulations to all of you. And y'all get another line on your CV. So you know how that, as you start the job hunt, that stuff matters. Okay, so today what we're going to do, I'm going to do a very quick introduction of each of our competitors and our judges before we get rolling. Let's see, if each of you will stand, or I'm going to start with the competitors. If each of you will stand as I call your name, and to the audience, you do not have to wait to applaud. Applaud. These people have done a great job. We're going to celebrate them every chance we get. From WSU Vancouver, Ryan Wagner. From the College of Arts and Sciences, Aditi Dahia. From the Voiland College of Engineering and Architecture, Sungran Soon. From the College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, Anud Alabuni. Sorry. Good thing I practiced that 87 times, including when you got here 10 more times. I'll get it right. From the College of Education, Aliyah Siri. From the Carson College of Business, Sion Mei Wu. From the College of Veterinary Medicine, Marion Lowery. From the College of Agriculture, Human and Natural Resource Sciences, Neha Chandrakanth. And finally, from WSU Tri-Cities, Angana Chaudhry. Again, congratulations to all of you. You're great. Brief introduction of our judges. We'll do this very quickly. First of all, we'd like to thank you for your time. You know, this is certainly not a paid position, and y'all have day jobs and things you need to be doing. Our judges are all up along the back wall there, and I will also take a second to introduce each one of them individually. We have faculty and staff that are not currently connected to any one college. And in the spirit of town-gown collaboration, something Drs. Knoll and Kirk Schultz have emphasized since they moved to Pullman, we have also got community representation here with us today. So just like with the competitors, if you will each stand as I call your name, that would be very helpful. Leading off, we have Dr. Elizabeth Chilton, WSU Provost and Executive Vice President, as well as the WSU Pullman Chancellor. Fit that title on one business card someone can read. Yeah, there you go. Helping keep our WSU community healthy, Matt Forge, CEO, Pullman Regional Hospital. Helping support Coug alumni and Coug-owned businesses, Executive Director of Coug's First, Tony Poston. Please help me welcome Ramondo Nash, the new Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. And a guy who might understand a thing or two about some competition, head football coach Jake Dickert. Let's put our hands together for former general manager of the Bookie and longtime Pullman City Council member, Pat Wright. Judging his second one of these, we have Assistant Dean of Students and Director of our Multicultural Student Services, Steve Bischoff. Hitting both town and gown, we have retired WSU staff member Nancy Mack, who is also the founder of the Pullman Civic Trust. And finally, because after all this is a graduate competition, we introduce to you Vice Provost for Graduate and Professional Education, Tammy Berry. Thank you so much to all of our judges. We absolutely couldn't do this without you. So competitors, are you ready? Yep. You're all ready and set to go. We will begin with Ryan Wagner from WSU Vancouver.
Meet the golden toad. Beautiful, isn't it? Now say goodbye, because no one has seen a live golden toad since 1989. It has been extinct for 35 years. Unlike other animals that have gone extinct in recent decades, its habitat wasn't destroyed or polluted, it wasn't overhunted, and no invasive predators were introduced. It appeared to simply vanish. For a long time, the disappearance of the golden toad was a mystery. But soon, other amphibians living in pristine habitats began to disappear as well. Today, 40% of all amphibians are at risk of extinction, more than reptiles, mammals, birds, or fish. It turns out the golden toad was one of the first victims of an amphibian plague. This plague, caused by the chytrid fungus, has been spread around the world by humans and is responsible for the decline or extinction of hundreds of amphibian species. Now meet the Cascades frog, an amphibian still found in the mountains of the Pacific Northwest. But because of the chytrid fungus, it is declining and could soon go the way of the golden toad. For my PhD thesis, I am studying how we can beat this fungal killer and stop amphibian extinctions. First, I am studying the long-term interactions between climate, disease, and cascade frog populations to understand how a changing climate could worsen or abate the effects of disease. Second, I'm directly fighting this fungus by treating Cascades frogs with an antifungal bath, and monitoring their populations to learn how these treatments could improve survival and long-term population viability. Finally, using the lessons learned from my first 2 research objectives, I plan to reintroduce Cascades frogs back into the wetlands where they were wiped out by the fungus, and I will monitor these populations to determine their success. I hope that my research can be applied to amphibians affected by chytrid around the world. But you might be wondering, what is the significance of a lost frog? Why does it matter if they go extinct? There are many scientific answers to this question. An ecosystem with a diversity of species is more resilient to environmental change than an impoverished one. Many amphibians have applications for biomedical research. The alkaloid compounds on the skin of poison arrow frogs are 200 times more potent than morphine. But the reason I will leave you with is not a scientific one per se. As a child, who didn't look at a pool of tadpoles with wonder, or welcome spring with the raucous calling of frogs? Amphibians have intrinsic value, and they deserve to be protected. We can't save the golden toad, but there are many wonderful amphibians still with us. Perhaps we can save them.
Thank you. I didn't ask how long I was supposed to wait in between competitors for the judges to do their thing. Our next competitor is Aditi Dahiya from the College of Arts and Sciences.
Every 20 seconds, someone somewhere will break a bone. But imagine then a world where the spices that flavor our pizzas can actually make our bones stronger. I am not talking about a futuristic fantasy, but a scientific breakthrough. Through my research, I am not just healing fractures. We are addressing a silent epidemic, osteoporosis. It's a condition where bone become as fragile as a chalk, affecting over 200 million people worldwide. It can easily turn a simple hug to a hospital visit. It's cost about $19 billion on US healthcare system, and that too just in a year. Now let's try to spice things up. Have you heard of turmeric or oregano? Right? These are not just some culinary delight. They contain curcumin and carvacrol, who are the fighters fighting against bone decay. So through my research, I created a spice mix, not for the Sunday barbecue, but for your bone. So we took the wisdom of these herbal medicines, mixed it up with the precision of modern science. By infusing these spices on 3D printed calcium phosphate scaffolds, we are creating a matrix which is not just a placeholder for the bone, but an agent for active bone regeneration. Through my research, I saw that these spices significantly increase the growth of bone-forming cells while showing the door to the bad actors such as cancerous cells or the infectious cells or the bone-eating cells, the cells which are responsible for osteoporosis. We took our studies from a petri dish to animal-based models such as rats or rabbits, and we saw some compelling results. But why does this matter? Because through my research, we are not just healing bone, we are restoring lives. Where a grandmother can lift her grandkid without fear, a person can go back to their job they depend on, or a young athlete who can enjoy sports. Through my research, we are not just patching up bones, we are redefining recovery, because we aim to provide a solution which is affordable, accessible, and adjustable to every patient's need, breaking barrier to quality healthcare. While it is true that sticks and stones may break our bones, but through the power of science and spices, bone healing won't be a hassle. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. From the Voiland College of Engineering and Architecture, Sun Gransun.
Woo. Throughout human history, carbon-based energy, such as gasoline, has fueled our march towards modernization. However, this progress comes with a significant environmental cost. Look at the top. Every gallon of gasoline that we burn releases over 20 pounds of greenhouse gases accumulated in the atmosphere, thus driving the climate change. Now, if we can tap into the fuels that satisfy our energy demand without the carbon footprint, such as the fuels are as clean and renewable as those from a fairy tale. Looking at the gray color panel, chemical engineers, including myself, are pioneering a novel method to produce such clean energy using catalysts. Catalysts are these amazing tiny helpers to facilitate the conversion of organic waste into biofuels. And my research focused on designing these catalysts to be more efficient and durable using a switchball method, where you can think of this method as a switching on and off a light bulb. By leveraging this method, we're able to stabilize and then deposit the active metallic particles such as nanogold into a tiny narrow channel to facilitate chemical reaction, thus improve catalyst efficiency. The size of these catalysts is at the level of atoms and molecules. And we also show these catalysts are much more robust and longer lasting, therefore extending the time that we can use these materials. But what does this research breakthrough mean to you guys? Using this efficient catalyst, we can significantly reduce the cost of energy production, therefore making them to be available for all of us. Now we have cheaper and cleaner fuel options for our vehicles and factories, but more importantly, we drastically reduce the pollutant that we emitted into the air that caused the climate change. And the potential of our switchball method extends far beyond to the crimson color panel, where it can be effortlessly translated into preparing various types of novel catalysts by simply replacing gold with other active metals. Therefore, using these efficient catalysts prepared with our switchball method, besides reducing our dependence on traditional gasoline and curbing greenhouse gas accumulation, they can also facilitate even broader application, such as water purification and fertilizer production, to ensure we have clean drinking water and food security. So altogether, we're making not only clean energy, but also powering a future, where each step towards a cheaper and greener represents a leap towards a healthier and greener planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sangran. Give them a second. I got a little quick the last time, so let me get this going here in just a second. I'm going to wait for my judges. Beside me and raring and ready to go from the College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, Anud Alabuni.
You may have heard about the approach of one size doesn't fit all. It's maybe illustrated in this photo for these kids who are wearing adult-sized clothes that's not fitting their bodies. But raise your hand if you think they still look funny with these oversized clothes. I do. I think they look funny. But trust me, the situation will not be funny when it's come to medication. It will become serious and maybe harmful if we give the wrong dose for children. And here's the story for one of the commonly prescribed medication in children called metformin. Metformin used specifically to treat diabetes. While it's approved as a treatment for diabetes in children, only 35% of metformin prescriptions used to treat diabetes. The majority of metformin prescriptions, around 65%, used to treat other conditions like cystic ovary, obesity, and many other conditions where metformin use has not been officially approved. This creates dosing challenges in children because there's no specific dosing guideline to follow. And physicians now are just relying on adult dosing guideline, which may not be suitable for children's bodies, exactly like these clothes. So you may be wondering, what will happen if we give adult dose for children? To answer this, imagine a physician that prescribes same dose of drug to 3 different pediatric patients. In one lucky patient, like child 1, the metformin might reach the body with sufficient amount to do the beneficial effect. And after that, there is a specific carrier in the kidney will remove the drug out of the body. This is the happiest scenario that any physician wish, but unfortunately, it's not always the case. What if this carrier is acting very fast, like in child 2? The moment the drugs enter the body, this carrier will take it out. Then the amount of the drug in the body will not be sufficient to do the beneficial effect. And the worst scenario, in the case of a child 3, if this carrier is acting very slowly, leading to the accumulation of the drug in the body, which cause severe side effects like severe stomach pain, nausea, diarrhea, which is one of the reasons for the discontinuation of the medication. So, same dose of a drug of metformin may not be suitable for all children. To address this challenge, this variation in metformin response, in my research, I'm focusing on identifying a molecule that exists in the children's bodies. I like to call this molecule a SMARTY biomarker. It's act like this tailor. It will take precise and accurate measurement for the function of this carrier in the kidney. So now we can predict which of these previous scenarios metformin will follow. In the future, physicians can rely on this as a potential diagnostic tool in order to optimize the medication of metformin for children. And to describe also the correct dose to the right children to ensure that all these kids are receiving safe and effective treatment. And trust me, because as one size doesn't fit all, also one dose of a treatment doesn't cure all. And I believe that all kids in the world deserve to have a fit treatment. Thank you.
Thank you, Anud. If you want to. Time management here. Representing the College of Education, Ali Asiri.
Okay, so raise your hand if you know how many new technologies came out last year. I would like the exact number. It's really hard, right? You know why? Because every month, if not every day, we would have a massive number of new technologies coming out and introduced to us. And for teachers, that's just one more reason to fail behind. You know why? Because they can't really learn all new technologies. And to add to that problem, when it comes to teaching teachers how to use technology, the problem is focusing on the technology itself, so giving them the fish instead of teaching them how to fish. But here's my research comes in. So my research is proposing to shift the focus to be more on how teachers learn. So based on current literature and in my research, I identified 4 basic guidelines that could be used in any teacher education. I want you to count with me because this is what I want you to learn today. Number 1, to connect what teachers are learning to their classroom so it's more relevant to them. Number 2, instead of sit and listen, no, to encourage them to be physically and mentally active with the content they are learning. Number 3, to give them examples, to show them how it could be done. Number 4, to make their learning ongoing so they can retain information after a while. And in my research, I did a case study to explore the perception of more than 43 teachers in the College of Education with 2 research questions. The first one, what was the perception of having these 4 guidelines in their learning? Number 2, how these guidelines impacted their learning. And the key results are so promising. So they perceived having these 4 guidelines to be effective in providing them authentic learning, active learning, and examples. Who would say no to examples, right? And when it comes to how these guidelines impacted their learning, they said it was positively impactful because they were in the learning process while learning, and they could work with each other. And if you are like my amazing advisor, you would say, so what, Ali? Well, to answer her and to conclude, my research is contributing to the shift from technology to teachers as a one step to empower them to use technology to the best of their abilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. Our next presenter is from the greatest college in the history of colleges on all college campuses. And now you know why I'm not a judge. I've been banned from judging for life. The Carson College of Business. We have Sien Mei Wu.
Imagine yourself staying in a hotel. Would you rather interact with a very talkative front desk employee or a quiet one? Well, you may say that depends. The point is, part of the reason is because we all have very different personalities. Some are introverts and some are extroverts, and so do service robots. Researchers have been studying for years to understand how personality shapes human behavior. One of the findings is that customer reaction towards employee personality is influenced by many factors, such as physical appearance, type of tasks that are performed by employees. So, what about robots? If we give robots personality, which personality is more favorable by the customers? And what if robots make a mistake? Will that impact customer preferences? That is what my research is about. So, to better investigate customer response, we introduced two moderators to the study. First, we want to understand the impact of physical appearance. In this study, we focus on anthropomorphism, which refers to the level of human likeness. A robot is defined as either human-like or machine-like. So we found that in hotels, actual robots are more favorable by customers in most cases, especially when the appearance is machine-like. And in second study, we wonder, how about the service failure? Are they still preferred by customers even after a service failure? Well, the answer is, when a service failure occurs, the satisfaction towards actual robots experiences a very significant decline compared to the introvert ones. So in that case, extrovert robots are less favorable by the introvert ones. So this indicates the importance of service quality delivered by the robots, regardless of the personalities. Overall, better understanding of robot personality helps hotels to better serve their guests. And to myself, although robots do not have souls, I still believe that the personality is the key to unlocking the long-lasting and pleasant interaction to make customer expectations and improve satisfaction. Thank you so much.
Thank you. While they're writing, I'll take a second and tell y'all I'm going to take attendance tomorrow night at the women's basketball game at 6 o'clock in Beasley as they continue through their WBIT tournament. Would love to see you all there. Up next, from the College of Veterinary Medicine, Marion Lowry.
May I tell you a sad but true story of something that happened to me last summer? It started with my leaving a delicious blueberry muffin on the counter and expecting that it would still be there when I returned. Instead, I found a mangled pile of crumbs where my muffin had been. Now, how could I determine who had done this? Well, by repeating the experiment and eliminating damaged sources. For example, if I had a dog, put the dog in its crate. If I had children, which I do, just turn on Mario Kart Deluxe. I can vouch they will be seated for hours. Then stick out another muffin and see what happens. This process is actually very similar to the one that I use to study the types of mutations that we see in skin cancer. Now, skin cancer in all its forms is very common. Statistically, 1 in 5 Americans will develop it in their lifetime. And that's because we're all exposed to the sun, which emits ultraviolet radiation that damages our DNA. This damage leads to mutations, and these mutations can lead to skin cancer. Melanoma is a rare but deadly form of skin cancer, and we still don't understand the origins for some of the important mutations that trigger its development. Now, there's two well-known types of UV damage, and I studied the mutations that come from each of these using yeast as a model organism. In my muffin mystery, I talked about eliminating damaged sources, but in the lab, I have developed a way to specifically remove each well-known type of damage after it occurs by activating special repair proteins in my yeast. So by exposing my cells to UV, and then activating the repair of one or both well-known types of damage, and then looking at the resulting mutations in my yeast DNA, I can correlate those mutations with the damage that they came from. Now, sometimes the villain in a story is not who you suspect. In my muffin mystery, the thief was a Pullman backyard squirrel that came into my house and ate my muffin. In the lab, I found that after I activated the removal of both well-known types of damage, I still saw critical mutations that are linked to melanoma development. And this suggests that those mutations are coming from rare damage that aren't well understood and that we continue to investigate. It's my hope that my research leads to a brighter future for those with skin cancer, because understanding how a disease develops is a critical step for allowing earlier diagnosis and development of better therapeutics. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marian. Welcome. From the College of Agricultural, Human, and Natural Resources Sciences, we have Neha Chandrakant.
Good afternoon, everyone. My research addresses the mammoth issue affecting the entire world, climate change. Did you know, in the US, based on the recent report, fossil fuels burned for transportation generates the largest share of carbon dioxide emissions? Are you all feeling a little guilty about flying and driving? I do too. Biofuels, on the other hand, are sustainable alternatives to fossil fuels. Plant cells, which are the building blocks of plants, are encapsulated in strong walls, which we refer to as cell walls, helps the plants stay upright, and at the same time, they are very rich in sugars, which can be used for biofuel production. First, the plant biomass is broken down into pieces, which are then treated with enzymes, shown here as Pacman, to release the sugars, which are then utilized by microbes to produce biofuels. When the biofuels are burnt, the carbon dioxide that is released to the atmosphere are recaptured by the plants to feed themselves. Sounds promising, right? However, releasing the sugars from the plant cell walls remains a challenge. That's where my research chimes in. I study specific components of cell walls called hydroxynamic acids. What is known so far is that some hydroxynamic acids can impede biofuel production by blocking the enzymes to access and release the sugars. Think of it as a Pac-Man game. Here, the Pac-Mans are enzymes, and the goal is to release as much sugar as possible. As we know, greater the sugar released, higher is the biofuel production. But the hydroxynamic acids, depicted as COS here, will block the Pac-Man to release the sugars. Let's begin with this normal cell wall on your left, where the Pac-Man can release the sugars until it encounters the first ghost. Say, the sugars released will be used to produce X amount of biofuel. Moving on to the middle cell wall with the increased amount of COS, so low sugar yield and thus decreased biofuel production compared to the normal cell walls. Finally, we have the third cell wall with decreased number of COS, where the Pac-Man can cruise through releasing all the sugars, which translates to very high biofuel production. Exciting, right? So this middle cell wall here, it's an actual result. When I tested cell walls with increased hydroxymic acids, I did observe decreased enzymatic sugar yields. Now, I'm working on engineering plants to have cell walls more like on your right, with decreased hydroxymic acids, which will result in increased sugar yield and thus increased biofuel production. So cool. So I want to conclude by asking you all, wouldn't it be cool to run our cars and airplanes on plants and crop leftovers without the guilt of increasing carbon dioxide levels? Thank you.
Thank you. You got this. And last, but absolutely certainly not least, just to make you a little bit more nervous as we go through here, representing WSU Tri-Cities, Angana Chaudhry.
So, let's imagine you're walking to your office or to your college. You look around and you see at least 5 people who are either sipping coffee or eating a sub. Have you ever wondered how the human body digests such complex substances all by itself? Or even when you see a deer or a cow grazing, do you think how they are going to digest the grass and the trees that they're feeding on? Well, the answer to this lies in the capabilities of the microbes which are found in the guts of the human beings and other animals. These microbes treat the stomach as a natural reactor where they break down the food into small molecules. These small molecules are then converted into other gases. In the parlance of biochemistry, these small molecules are nothing but volatile fatty acids or acetic acid. In layman's term, they are vinegar. I mean, who knew the body can actually produce vinegar all by itself? Now, what if I tell you that we can replicate this entire thing into our lab, in our research lab, in an artificial reactor? This is where my PhD work begins. By creating an oxygen-deprived environment where we can strategize the growth of the microbes, we have produced these small molecules in our project. Now, these microbes are more like, cranky babies. Like they need specific environment, special care, and attention to grow. So do the microbes. In my work, I have designed a specific condition which includes a temperature and a particular acidity for these microbes to grow and produce these target molecules. These small molecules are a crucial precursor for sustainable aviation fuels. For ages, researchers have tried to produce this acetic acid from fossil fuels. But this is where my work differs. I have produced this acetic acid from waste with the help of microbes. In my work, I have designed this condition where we kill this one set of organisms, whereas allowing the other set of microbes to grow. However, let me tell you that the extent of these microbes do not just end with the aviation industry. They go further to produce fertilizers in the form of solid digested, as well as biogas to power up a small community. So the next time when you're soaring high through your clouds, or using manure to fertilize your crops, give a little nod of appreciation towards these microbes. Thank you.
All right. First of all, we have some really smart people doing some really cool stuff on this campus. Nice job, all of you. Here's what's going to happen now. The judges are going to finish up their last sheet, and then they're going to come down here. We're going to take them to a room where we will have some folks in there that will help calculate the results, validate what's there, and then we'll come back in here, announce our winners. So as soon as the judges are ready, feel free, make your way down here. While they're out of the room, relax, be comfortable, catch up on an email, grab a refreshment.
We could have Thomas go collect them, actually.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll have them.
that's a great idea.
Then we'll go to the secret room.
The secret room. interlude we had. Hopefully you made some new friends, had some snacks. So it is time to make some announcements. First of all, before we get to that point, I want to thank everybody who made this possible. Certainly our judges in the back row, thank you. Can't do this kind of stuff without your help. So appreciate it very much. Thank you to the Provost's office for the support for the cash prizes. Thank you to Amy Roth McDuffie as our representative to the 3-minute thesis. Thank you, Brandon Chapman, Christina Wilson-Peterson, our tech crew. Everybody helped us pull this off and make it a very nice event. So thanks, everyone. Immediately following this event and this announcement, certainly feel free to come down and congratulate the winners and the folks who participated today. But we do have some people here who are from the press who will be needing to get some pictures and possibly ask some questions. So we might have to hurry that part along for a minute until go out and enjoy yourself, have some snacks, and mix and mingle. Dr. Chilton, if it's that time, are you ready? Get my pen over here. I do. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to, well, no, time out. Time out. First of all, I want all of our competitors to stand up and be recognized one more time. Thank you. You were amazing, amazing. Now what we're going to do is I am going to call the names of the 3 winners, and I'm going to be doing it alphabetically, all right? And I will ask those 3 winners to come down here and join Dr. Chilton, all right? We ready? Here are our 3 winners in alphabetical order. Drum roll. I feel like I need a drum roll here. Yeah. Aditi Dahia. Marion Lowry. And Ryan Wagner. A reminder, this is kind of like Miss America or whatever beauty pageant we want to do here. We're going to start. A reminder that our 3rd place winner will receive a $500 travel grant from the Provost's office to use toward a research conference. Okay? We ready? Congratulations, all of you, first of all. I'm just going to drag this on because, because I can, because I have the microphone. Yeah. Our 3rd place winner, Aditi Dahia. Ooh, in true pageantry now. We have 2 people left, Marion Lowry and Ryan Wagner. The 2nd place finisher receives $1,500 in research conference travel money, and today's winner of the 3-minute thesis receives $3,000 in travel grant money. Our winner of the 2024 WSU 3-minute thesis, Marion Lowry. Thank you, everyone who participated today. Please feel free, mix, mingle, chat, have some refreshments, and hopefully we'll see many or all of you here for next year's 3-minute thesis. Thank you very much.